You know, it's been a while since I've been satisfied with blasphemy on film. Let's talk about The First Omen.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. What's not real? Who said that?
The First Omen was directed by Arkasha Stevenson and stars Nell Tiger Free, which starred in that Servant TV show, which I don't even remember watching. I did see the first season, but I didn't recognize her at all. The First Omen is a 2024 American supernatural horror film. The First Omen is a prequel to the franchise The Omen. I believe the first one came out in 1976. And then we have the second one, which stars Damien as kind of like a teenager. And then we have the third one, which stars Sam Neill as Damien the Antichrist in kind of a political position from my recollection. And then we also have the fourth one, which was, I believe, was a TV movie called The Omen Awakening, which is bad. I mean, there's not much to say. As these kind of movies progress, they kind of get progressively more terrible. With that in mind, you kind of go into a movie like this with those kind of expectations. Prequels don't always end up that well on screen. Two prequels come to mind that I really do enjoy, and that is Ouija, the Origin of Evil, and then Annabelle Creation. The movie follows Margaret traveling to Rome on the path to take her final vows to become a nun. And that's kind of just where things start to take off. I don't want to give much away at all for this movie because a lot of things get revealed. And if you've seen the movie The Omen, the first one, you kind of know where it's leading to, but you don't know kind of like how things kind of fall into place. The end result is the birth of the Antichrist. There's a plan in place by higher up in the church who are kind of plotting this. But again, we're not exactly sure how or why things are happening. Again, if you've seen the first Omen, you know kind of how Damien, the Antichrist, is brought about. And it's a pretty horrific thing that they just mention in that movie. And here you kind of see those things kind of play out. This movie was so surprising to me. I feel that the director really knows how to just build the tension in the movie and kind of like as the movie progresses, it gets better and better and better. I felt like in the very beginning, it started off a bit slow. We're being introduced to the characters, and you don't necessarily know where things are going to lead. You know, you kind of see kind of hints at persons that might seem suspicious, or you're not sure like how or in what way they're playing a particular role in this whole thing. And it just goes to show you that you should be suspicious of everybody. I feel the cinematography kind of lends itself to the times, you know, like the costumes are seem very authentic. The time frame in Rome seems very authentic. The one thing I kind of did gripe about was the reasoning why the persons who are putting this in place, how they were expecting to get, or their reasoning for it kind of like threw me off a little bit. But that was probably my only gripe about the movie. The tension keeps building. There's a few jump scares in this movie, but are done really well. They're genuinely creepy scenes in the movie that kind of got to me, kind of sitting in the dark in the theater, and you're not exactly sure what I'm seeing on the screen, but then it just slowly builds. And that is kind of like the tension I'm always looking for in my horror movies. I felt that these scenes and these scares have more of a lasting, they stay with you. There's a point where the gore starts to amp up. In fact, there's some like really troubling scenes. I'm not one to get like kind of squeamish in certain, especially in my horror movies. There's a few scenes like past that I won't talk about right now, but like that kind of grossed me out. These didn't gross me out, but it made me uncomfortable. And that's again, that's the kind of reaction I want when I'm watching a horror movie. Considering that this film franchise series is quite old and there was a remake a couple years ago, you would think that like a movie like this wouldn't have such a lasting impact. But again, done well, done right, and I feel like the director did do this so well. I'm expecting more from this person, hopefully in the horror genre, to keep on going because being surprised and really enjoyed what I saw here. I hope they continue on this trajectory. This movie, apparently, from what I read online, was going to have an NC-17 rating, mainly due to the certain scene that I had mentioned that made me a bit uncomfortable and a bit squeamish. Uh, so I'm hoping that if this comes out on a DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, that there's a special feature that has that version available. Again, as the movie progresses, it just seems to be getting worse in the sense of the tension building and like making the audience kind of go along with the ride and not letting up. And Nail Tiger Free gives a praiseworthy performance because there's a point in the scene where she has to sell something that's happening to her, and it's just a long shot, and it stays with her for a while, and you feel the uncomfortableness, you feel like that dread coming upon her, and I think she did fantastic. I have nothing but praise for the first Omen, and again, I'm hoping to see more from the director. And again, Neil Tiger Freed gives a great performance. Everyone in this movie did great, and with really like just selling the dread. And I can't say that enough. I felt watching this movie the way I felt when I watched Hereditary for the first time. A bit of uncomfort. Actually, this is the only second time that this has happened. Not that it's any sort of metric for how uh, scary a movie is or anything like that, but this is just my reaction to certain movies that kind of make me feel that dread. As I'm eating my popcorn, like in the first probably 30 minutes, I just stopped and I couldn't eat anymore. It just wasn't enjoyable. I just wanted to focus in on the movie because of how it was making me feel. And I really encourage everyone to go watch this movie. Don't let it fall by the wayside. Check it out in theaters. And if you can't check it out in theaters, check it out on streaming because it is a good one. It's one of the better prequels. I'm gonna throw that on the two that I mentioned. This is gonna be the third. I'm pretty sure there's more that I'm forgetting right now, but go check out this movie, The First Omen. In fact, go watch the first one because the first one's really good. Then you can watch this one, but you don't necessarily have to watch any of those to watch this one. And then it's up to you if you want to continue on. But I warn you ahead of time, they don't get better. First one's good. This one, if these were just a pair, that would like be great without the other three. But I mean, check him out if you want. If you like Sam Neill, watch the third one. He does great as Damien. I mean, his performances are usually really good. If you like this review, please like and subscribe. And remember, if you did watch The First Omen, comment below what did you think about it. Or if you haven't seen it yet and you've seen the other ones, tell me what you thought about the other films. Again, comment below. I'll see you next time. Bye.